Hey everybody.
Hi.
It has been a long time, but we are back. So we're really excited about it, if you couldn't tell. Our episode today is all about small business and being environmentally conscious.
Preach.
So if you're not interested in being environmentally conscious, then this episode is not for you. But Erica's our guest. Okay, great. Daenerys is also part of this episode. Right, Daenerys?
Yeah.
Yes. Daenerys is having some separation anxiety issues, so she joined us today. But Erica's our guest. She is from Park Market and Refilery.
Yep.
Her business concept is amazing and so important for sustainability in their future.
What a great idea. I'm already thinking about the containers I'm going to buy so she can come park in my driveway and refill them all for me.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So take a listen. If you have questions, as always, please reach out to us. Tell us what you think. And thanks for listening, guys. Hey.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Momsplanation. Real life. Real moms. Real talk.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Momsplanation. I literally just said I don't remember how to do this because it's been so long since we recorded.
Where am I?
What am I doing? What year is it? Every time I watch Jumanji and Robin Williams goes, "What year is it?" I'm like, that's my life. Every week, every day I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Anyways, I digress. We are here with Erica. Hi, Erica. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Erica.
Yes.
And I think a big reason why I'm here today is to tell you about Park Market and Refilery.
Yes.
Amazing.
Which is a business that my partner and I founded about a year ago. Or I guess you could say thought of it about a year ago. It didn't officially operationalize until June.
Okay.
But I'm excited to dive into that. But I also love the environment. I love being active.
Awesome.
I'm a Burlington resident.
Nice.
Grew up in Milton, Ontario.
Nice.
And prior to launching Park Market, I spent 9 years in nonprofit.
Amazing.
Oh, wonderful.
Been kind of in a community-minded, I guess, organization space for a long time.
Okay.
So it's kind of a natural progression to launch Park Market and Refilery.
Amazing. And so what about your, I don't know if it was your upbringing or your personality, motivated you to work in nonprofit or work in that way, engaging with the community?
Yeah, so great question. I specifically was in the sport for development sector, so all about helping kids learn and feel empowered through sport.
Okay.
And I was an athlete growing up, and sport was a huge part of my upbringing. It helped me build confidence. It helped me build a network of friends, and helped me feel like I belonged.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it was just a huge part of kind of getting me to where I am now. And I studied kinesiology in school. So sport was a huge part of my upbringing. And then when I learned that there was organizations spending time with kids and helping empower them through sport, it was just a no-brainer for me to find my way into that space.
That's amazing.
So
and you can make money doing that. I think most
Believe it or
people...
not, you
Yeah.
can.
Okay. I think
Right?
most people, when they think like not-for-profit, it's like, that means like
There's
no
no
money
money.
for anyone.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it depends on the organization you're working with. Some of the smaller shops, salaries are lower. You're definitely taking a pay cut to work there.
Yeah.
Even for some of the larger scale international organizations.
Yeah.
So it takes a dedicated type of person to commit to working in that space. If
For
you
sure.
have the opportunity and are able to make it happen.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that luxury. But it definitely... It has that reputation, but there are competitive roles out there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so you mentioned your partner, Jeff, right? Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. He shared in the idea for your business that you guys have now. So what does he do in his career that would have, sort of connected you guys in this way?
Yeah, great question. Also, so he's a firefighter.
Nice.
Lovely.
Yeah. So
with Burlington?
Actually, with Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah. So he grew up in Hamilton, and we actually met at school studying. He studied kinesiology as well, but always knew he wanted to be a firefighter.
Nice.
Father was as well, and he just it's a very community oriented type role.
Definitely.
And he really and truly believes in public service. Like he's
Yeah.
very passionate about it.
Wonderful.
But with that type of role, you have a pretty great schedule.
Yes, you
Now,
do.
He would argue, and I
Yes.
totally support him. It's a tough schedule with the 24-hour shifts. It's draining. You need to get rest the day before, and you're toast the next day.
Yeah.
But it does give you more time in certain chunks because
For
you're
sure.
working through the night.
Yeah.
So it's worked out really well that the two of us can. I left my career to jump into this one, and he's been supporting, kind of taking on a second job.
So wonderful.
But yeah.
So talk to me about like the mindset around quitting a full-time job, a guaranteed income, to launch into something that you're passionate about. Because I know that like a lot of people out there are wanting to have their own business, to want to be entrepreneurs, but like the fear of not having that guaranteed income and potentially like, the employee mindset prevents them from doing that. So how did you make that shift?
Oh man, the fear is so real. Right?
Yeah.
So real. Not an easy decision in the slightest.
Right.
It was really hard. Especially because I loved my job. Like I wasn't unhappy there.
Right.
I had a great boss. I had a great team. I loved the work that we were doing. So it genuinely came from a place of being truly passionate about this other concept of launching my own business and the content of that business.
Right.
Something I'd always had in the back of my mind for a long time, but a lot of thought, a lot of discussion. I spent a lot of time talking to family and friends, people that knew me well.
Yeah.
Because, there's the financial aspect, which is stressful. So there's a lot of planning you need to do, a lot of, okay, I'm giving up this and this and this if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Very big change on the budget side of things for us. And also really connecting with your close family and friends and saying, hey, do you have my back if I do this?
Right.
Like, just that you have that support because it's a scary thing to do. And,
For sure.
And, we were really lucky in our case that Jeff kept his full-time job. So we knew he had something. Right. We just had to kind of manage our expectations of how we were going to be spending our time and our money the next few years. And I always say it's a calculated risk.
Yeah.
So I made sure to really map kind of the financial side of it out.
Right.
And then in terms of the career change, my kind of mindset was you got one life and, I'm relatively young, I guess you could say, and you can always find your way back. It's kind of my view. You're not losing any of your experience. You're not losing any of your kind of credentials. If you spend the time maintaining your relationships, you're not going to lose those.
Yeah.
You'll certainly lose some.
Of course.
Do it all, but it was a tough decision. It wasn't easy, and having made the switch, there are high highs and low lows. Like,
and this has been since June. Like this is so fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh. So I left officially in March. So
wow.
Days where you feel on top of the world and you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing, and days where you're like, why?
Right.
Why did I do this?
Right.
Oh my God, this was the worst decision ever.
So in the spaces where you feel that, where it's like a very low day,
low.
like what happens for you internally to push you to the next, where you can get back on that high?
Yeah. Well, one thing actually, one of my best friends in conversation brought up was to write it down. Like, why am I making this decision? What is my why?
Yep.
What's my mantra? So anytime I'm doubting myself or feeling stressed out or low, I can kind of go back to that. So I literally typed it out, like my why. And I had a lot, that's ultimately what led me to make the decision. So on those low lows, I read it. I read it out loud.
It's amazing.
I read it 10 times. And it reminds me of like, right, okay. And then I always am like, yes, that's why I made this decision.
That's awesome.
Exercise is a huge outlet for me too. So just kind of like go for a run.
Stress
for
reliever.
sure.
Yeah.
Just do yoga class or connect with those people who you connected with at the beginning. And that believed in you and know you and give you perspective too. Because it's easy when you're in your own head, you can spiral down to a very scary place, dark place. And
for sure.
sometimes you just need someone to lift you out and say, it's okay. You're all right. You're doing good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
Okay, so business-wise.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
What is this business? Tell us all the things.
Okay, so Park Market and Refilery. We are a pop-up and delivery-based Refilery for home and body goods.
Okay.
So our main goal is to eliminate as much single-use plastic and packaging as we can.
Amazing.
And we do that through refilling. Currently we have over 50 refillable kind of liquid products on the home and body goods side.
Amazing.
So we'll refill any clean, dry jar of your own. So it's kind of like a bulk barn style. We'll weigh your jar, you fill it, we'll weigh it again, so you pay for just the product and none of the packaging.
Oh, I
Amazing.
love that.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
So how do people get... So, okay, there's so many questions around this. So let me just start... Yes, Daenerys is part of the podcast today. But let me just start by asking, what are the products that you have?
Tea, Mommy.
Oh, tea's so good.
Right?
Yes, she loves tea.
Yeah.
What are the products that you have?
Products
Like
that we have.
specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So we carry quite a range, everything from laundry soap, laundry detergent, dish soap, hand soap, body wash, shampoo, conditioner. We've got a line of cleaners. We've got just regular vinegar if you like to make your own.
Yeah.
We've got multi-purpose cleaner, kitchen and bathroom cleaners, bubble bath, toothpaste.
Oh my gosh,
Wow,
that's
like literally
wild.
every-
Yeah,
Everything.
quite a range. And my goal is, and it, it'll grow over time, is to try to make it as accessible as I can. So we have a range. So I kind of always describe it that we have a more accessible price point of product.
Yeah.
That is more comparable to the grocery store.
Right.
And then we have a more premium line of product with, organic essential oil, handmade in small batches.
Yes, I love that.
A little more local.
Yeah.
But of course, the smaller makers have,
Higher prices.
higher prices. Which
Yeah,
is the
for
reality,
sure.
But it
Yeah.
gives people the option. If they want to support local, they have that ability.
Yeah.
But if you want to reduce your waste, but can't spend as much on your dish soap, for example, then
Yeah.
there is a bit more
love
of an
that.
accessible range.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because I think that's important, because it, there's a lot of views about kind of zero waste and that it's not as accessible. So
Yeah.
trying to kind of flip that script and say it can be, and here's some options that we can provide, and also we're also trying to share just through social media different hacks and things you can do
Yeah.
that end up saving you money in the long run.
So do you have partnerships then with the products that you're refilling? So on the grocery store side of the products that you have, what brands or what types of
so
products are you offering?
On the refill side, we work with 7 different makers or manufacturers.
Okay.
Some like a one-person show.
Okay.
Some much larger.
Okay.
So we currently...
Are they brand names that people would know or generally not?
So one of them is the Bear Home, which
Okay.
is
Oh,
the Bear Home.
Burlington
Yep.
based.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be one of the more premium lines.
Yes,
Very
for sure.
Beautiful products. And I love working with her. It's another rock star woman in the green space trying to
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah.
And she carries an all-purpose cleaner, a dish soap, and a hand soap.
Okay.
So we work with her. So that's a name some of your listeners probably may have heard of.
Yeah.
Another big maker that we work with is called Onika.
Okay.
And their products carried in Goodness Me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they're in Longos or Fortinos. Maybe Longos, but
Okay.
we carry their shampoo and body wash and body lotion.
Okay.
And they're actually based in Quebec.
Nice.
Nice.
Really great product. Another brand name would be Pure Soap Works.
Pure. Yeah. Okay.
Again, another brand.
Yeah.
Goodness Me. And the nice thing is say you've already bought some of those products and you have the bottle, then we'll refill it, and it's going to be cheaper than
Right.
when you first
That's
bought it, because
awesome.
you're not
Yeah.
paying for the package and you're getting bulk pricing. So yes, it's definitely some brand names. There's another one out of Quebec called Pure that we carry, which has been very popular for us. A little not as commonly known. I don't think they're carried in any of our grocery stores,
Okay.
but they're a pioneer in terms of zero waste manufacturing and supply. Like they supply so many of the zero waste shops in Canada, even as
Beautiful.
far as the States.
Wow.
And is there are there certain containers that you wouldn't be able to refill?
We just want to make it happen. It's
Okay.
mainly if it's cracked, if it's dirty.
Yeah.
Mainly because we just want to be able to
Guarantee your product
guarantee
too.
the
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
But in terms of like size, shape,
It doesn't
Whatever,
matter.
you'll take it.
We've
Okay.
got old ketchup containers.
That's
old
awesome. Yeah.
Maple syrup containers. We've seen some really creative ones.
Awesome.
And I mean, there's some good packaging out there. Like for us, we refill our Aveda shampoo and conditioner bottles that we've had for like 4 years.
Right.
Because they work and they're light. They're not going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got the pump. So
That's awesome.
yeah, we're pretty easy.
Okay. And so how far do you go? Like what areas are you servicing?
Yeah, so we kind of say on our website Golden Horseshoe, so we've gone as far as Grimsby, Mississauga, Toronto, with our pop-ups.
Yeah.
But the majority of the pop-ups thus far, just based on demand, have been Hamilton, Burlington.
Right. Okay.
We've just had a lot of reception, and you know, with the mobile, like we operate out of a van.
Yeah.
And one of the challenges kind of getting going is finding places to pop up and businesses that are cool with us parking in their parking lot,
right?
Or markets that we have to apply
like,
to.
Could I have a pop-up in my driveway?
100%. Yeah.
Awesome.
The neighborhood pop-ups have been actually really popular, and what's awesome is from I'm also mindful of our emissions being a van, because you have to look at the environment. It's a very complex, plastic is one piece, but carbon emissions is another. It's a rabbit hole if we dive too deep into it, but
for sure.
If I can meet, 5 or 6 neighbors in one spot instead of going to 6 different places, it makes a big difference.
That's awesome. And do you go to festivals sort of thing, like summer festivals and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we do. So last summer we did a bunch of farmers markets. We did Grimsby Farmers Market. We did Lock Street, Ottawa Street in Hamilton.
Beautiful. Those are awesome.
Durand Market in Hamilton. And then we also do corporate pop-ups. So we popped up at businesses. The John Deere organization in Grimsby has had us over a bunch.
Cool.
So it's great. We've actually done a zero waste workshop, lunch and learn for them, and then we just pop open the doors and pre-promote. So everyone comes with their empties. So
that's amazing.
We're kind of all over.
Amazing.
But I always say, just shoot us a message and we'll find a way to get to you.
And what's the long-term vision for the business?
Ooh, great question. That's something we haven't fully landed on yet.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, a fleet of electric cargo vans that are pulling up soap nationwide.
Yeah, amazing.
But
that would be so cool.
Start somewhere.
Yeah,
that is very cool.
So yeah, we're still kind of testing and learning. I call us a lean startup in that we're
But I feel like this is where we're going. Nobody goes to the grocery store anymore. Everybody has the groceries brought to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is great because, I think to myself, I'm usually out of everything at once, right? So how cool would it be to just, get a bunch of, people together and, she's coming over and bring your empties and fill her up, and it's all done in one shot. And I love that idea. It's such a brilliant. I love it.
It is really good.
Love. Because there's the Refilery stores, which are great, but I still have to get there.
Yeah, and it's there's only so many.
That's it.
I think let's face it, we live in a convenience culture. We live in a busy time.
Totally.
We don't have time. Everybody's with families, with work, with social, it's an overwhelming time. So and I find even just talking in social circles with friends, one of the biggest barriers is time.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
if you
Absolutely.
can kind of cut that out and say, hey, you can still participate and we'll make it as easy as we can for you, then people are a little more willing to give it a shot, which is super important.
For sure. And so when people want to get in touch with you, obviously we know you're on Instagram. Where else can they connect with you?
So Instagram and Facebook have been our 2 most popular kind of channels.
Okay.
You can also visit parkmarketingrefilery.com. We have an info email. You can shoot us a note, give us a call. Our phone number's on there.
Awesome.
We're pretty quick to get back to folks, but we're a new business. We're young, and luckily we're mobile, so we have the luxury of being able to kind of test and pilot things out.
That's awesome.
Pretty quickly. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
And so working with your partner and starting this business, I can imagine there's quite a bit of stress associated with that. So how do you guys manage through that? Because I know that a lot of people, especially ones that I've talked to, have grandiose ideas of working together as, romantic partners, but business partners as well. But there's a lot of hurdles to that, right? Because there's emotions, there's stress, there's so many things that are associated with that. So how have you, what has your experience been so far with that?
To be honest, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Because in my old job, I was commuting to Toronto, so I was on the GO train for 2 hours a day. I had events. I was never home.
Right.
So there were days where we felt like passing ships in the night. And,
for sure.
In a lot of respects, this has been... We've just been able to spend so much more time together, which has been really great.
Yeah.
But working with your partner is also challenging.
Yes.
Because it's tough to draw that line of are we talking business or are we talking relationship?
Right.
Are you taking what I'm saying personally because we just had an argument, or because I'm not approaching it well? And so I've learned a ton about myself. I've learned a ton about my relationship and my partner.
Yeah.
And it comes down to communication, and it comes down to, trying to isolate, like, when are we on a date? When are we going out and this is like just fun and we're not talking about work? And when are we talking about work?
Right.
And so we try to plan, I mean, as much as you can. We don't have like a standing day, but we make an effort to make sure we go out and celebrate milestones that we've done with the business, but also just like celebrate each other and like talk about other things.
For sure.
In my situation, it's working well because Jeff is very much a doer, a listener. What are we doing tomorrow? Whereas I'm a bit more of a, what are we doing in 5 years? What's our long-term plan? I don't know if we should. I just overthink so much. So though it causes us to battle and disagree
it's
a lot.
Also a good balance.
It's important because he's like, Erica, just do that. If it doesn't work, cool, move on. Whereas, and I need that because I think if it wasn't for him being such a, I don't want to say pusher, but like encourager, like, you can do it, take a chance, you could fail, but just try. Yeah. I would be like halfway as far as I am, because he's really encouraged me to just like jump a little bit.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's tough to answer. I feel like every relationship is different.
Yes.
Definitely you need to work on communication, and it is going to impact your relationship. And there's totally times where I'm like, oh, let's just go back to when we came home, we talked about work today, we did our thing, like, because it does put stress on, especially in his case, it's a second job. So there are days where he has to remind me that, like, I don't want to talk about this today. I just came off a 24-hour shift. I'm exhausted. I recognize you're stressed about this important issue, but not today. So it's a constant kind of check-in situation, I guess.
I find it so interesting because Daniel and I are in sort of the same space in our lives right now, and it's like we're really working a lot and hard and all the time. And so it's like it's hard to identify, like, even when it's okay to not talk about business anymore, because the business is not where we want it to be yet. So it's like, how do you find that line of like, okay, it's a good space not to talk about this anymore? Or even like we've come to a place in our relationship where it's like, we don't really watch TV anymore, and we don't really do, because it's like, we're so committed to making this into something that, we have envisioned and committed to with each other, that it like feels so wasteful, right? But there is still an element, and we've both, discussed this, of like, we need to decompress, right? There has to be some time and space allotted for decompression, even though, we're in this like grind and hustle portion of building a business, right? So I find it so interesting. And there are a lot of times where I find, for us anyways, it's like, we don't always see eye to eye, or, sort of what you articulated about, like, there's an idea given, or maybe there's constructive criticism given, and it's like, because there's the personal relationship and the emotions, it's like, it's not received, right? It's so hard to receive it in a way that doesn't hurt your feelings. Right? So I find it very interesting. So, and it's funny because I don't encounter a lot of people that are actually doing that together. And I think it's for that reason, because it's like your work lives with you all the time then. If that's what you decide to do. But I have talked to many people, especially this week, that want to do it. It's just that fear, right? Of like, how do we maintain a healthy relationship and build a business together, right?
Totally.
So it's just an interesting time, I find,
it really
right?
is.
Yeah, and I
also like trying to kind of set a bit of a groundwork on like who's really running with what is important, because you don't do that in any workplace with any partner, for sure. And we weren't doing that at the beginning, right? It was a gong show. It was just a gong show. So I think that's another tip I'd throw in there, is like, now Jeff is really accounting. He's doing our tax return. He's thinking about finances, QuickBooks, Square, inventory. Because frankly, I wasn't doing it quite to the level it needed to be done. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to take that on, and that's going to be my thing. And then he feels ownership. And then it just helped that's one thing that really helped us.
Yeah.
think there's still lots of other things to work through, but
Yeah, and I feel like for us, like specifically, it's strengthening our relationship as we go. Like as we, like there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of growing pains, right?
Yeah,
like there's a
exactly.
lot. And we're still fairly new into it as well, but it's like, it's helping us to grow, not only as individuals, but as a couple, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we're moving and changing, but it's like,
me.
what do you need help with? This is like distracting.
Your eyes are too little.
I know they are too little. But yeah, like I think that there's a lot of room for personal growth within yourself and within your relationship. So what about the environment, like, and impacting the environment this way is so important to you, like propelled you to do this? Like, so for me, I'm very passionate about environmental actions, like in your everyday life. I think everybody knows this. Like,
Yeah,
we're
both of
vegan
us
for a
are-
reason.
yeah.
Like
We're doing
we do
our
the
best.
things.
yeah.
You know, we're trying, right? Like I've tried to do as much research as I can about, you know, what impacts the environment. I made the decision to be vegan because of many things, but predominantly because like I don't want to contribute to, you know, negative greenhouse gas in the environment. You know, there's a lot of things, right? So, and you know, I could go down a rabbit hole about recycling because I don't know if I believe in the recycling programs that actually happen in our municipalities. Like, I don't really know.
And a lot of people recycle wrong all the time.
Yes.
Like if
Oh,
I see one more peanut butter jar in a recycling bin full of peanut butter,
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my... I've actually taken them out on walks and come home and wash them and then put them in
But
my
even
recycling.
like yogurt containers too.
Yes.
Like nobody's like, you know, when my kids used to have those squeezes,
Yeah.
I used to cut them in half,
Yes.
rinse them out, and then recycle them. But I know that people generally don't do that.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I'm very passionate about the environment, and I try to do my part as much as I can. But obviously you are also passionate about it. So what, because you don't have children, right?
No.
You don't have children yet?
But want to.
Yet.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll say
Hope
yes.
to. Yeah.
Yet.
So even a greater reason.
So,
Yeah.
so talk to me about like what that is for you. Is it,
That's a huge part of it. Is
Yeah.
that I, you know, Jeff and I want to have a family. I
Yeah.
have a wonderful niece and nephew that I'm like completely in love with. And,
Yeah.
you know, I just don't want 20 years from now them to look back and say, guys,
What'd you do?
weren't you like thinking about us when you,
Yep.
yeah,
you know, like I want to be able to say we did everything we could.
right.
Which included, you know, making a total career change and sacrificing.
Yes.
You know,
That's
a
how I
number of
feel.
things to do this.
I mean, sorry to our parents, but like, hey guys,
Yeah.
they didn't know,
Yes, for sure.
but
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's the way I feel. Like I look at my daughter every day and I'm like, you see those pictures that these artists do of like the future and these kids just sitting in like I can't. And it's just like that's it. So that's why I go around and look in people's recycling bins and take out their peanut butter jars.
Totally.
Because I'm like, that's just going to get, it doesn't work that way. And I peel labels off of everything. I am that person. My recycling bin is immaculate.
Yeah.
But I look at the neighborhood and I'm like, did my effort even make a dent in it?
Totally.
Because no one else did what I did, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I can't. I don't know. It's very hard. It actually keeps me up at night.
Yeah, it's
thinking
especially
about
tough
the future.
when you make such an effort and go out of your way and make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there are certain like non-vegan products that you love and enjoy, but you
There was a time.
Yes,
There was a
yeah.
there
time.
might have been a time.
Yep.
I love cheese.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like
But-
I have loved it for many years.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like it's a small sacrifice, you know.
Yes,
If I've made I've made the decision to have 4 children and am not committed to do everything I can to protect their future, like am I really doing my job as a parent? You know, like that's just my that's just my perspective, right?
For sure.
And a lot of people unfortunately are not subscribed to that, right?
No.
And I don't know what needs to happen for people to get more on board with it. But I have to say, like, I'm very grateful for people like you because it's like we need more of that
Changing
in
the world.
world.
Small
and
step at a
me
time.
and you, like the fact that you're, you know, having me here and having this conversation is so important. And,
Yeah.
you know, we wouldn't get our word out if it wasn't for people like you that are like, hey, come and talk.
Yeah.
We need to
Well,
reach our
yeah.
listeners. So
And it's like, how often are people having the dialogue about, like, what is the impact of their single-use plastic?
yeah,
Really? Like, people, like, there was a huge, huge push about straws.
yeah.
Right.
So like Dano has a younger brother who's a teenager, and he was like very passionate about the straw thing.
Yep.
But like it's which is fine, but it's so misdirected because it's like, what about every other piece of plastic that you use every single day?
Yeah.
Like, yes, cut out the straws. That's great.
Yeah.
But it's like,
That's
what
just
about
like
all the
this,
plastic
Tip
cups?
of the iceberg.
All of
Right? It's a
the,
straw.
plastic bottles
Yeah.
that you get food and
Water bottles are killer.
and,
Yeah.
like, it's like, what about all of that?
Yeah. No,
So I don't know how the straw thing happened, like whoever spearheaded that.
Yeah.
But like, we need a grander dialogue about like all of it. It's all encompassing, right? So it's like I could go, so deep into the fact that like plastic companies make too much money and nobody's ever going to get away from it because the government is getting kickbacks and la 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 la, which is probably true. But like that's why I think that sitting down and talking as much as we can about like what we can do to make our own impact is super important.
No, I totally agree. I think it's just I think for a lot of folks it can be overwhelming.
Yes.
And it's hard to know where to start, and it's easy to feel like, is it going to make a difference if I do this and this and this and nobody else is? But it's strength in numbers.
But it speaks to that convenience factor that you talked about earlier because like people think it's convenient to just go to the store and get all of their products in these single-use plastics, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like that's the way that these businesses have capitalized.
Oh, they make it so easy.
Yeah.
Even the other day I was reading a recipe online to make I think it was a squash soup or something.
Yeah.
And it was a recommendation, and it said, sometimes cutting up squash can be really challenging, but if you check at a grocery store, typically they have it pre-cut in like plastic containers.
That's
and
right.
I was like,
This is exactly the problem. Yeah.
But it's we've gotten away from. It's so funny. So many of the products and methods that we're promoting are things that were around 50 years ago. But for example, the safety razor.
Yeah.
A razor that could potentially last your entire life.
Yes.
But larger companies, well, if I'm only selling one, I should sell disposable razors that are, 1 to 3, maybe single use, maybe a couple uses, because then they'll buy a 3-pack every couple months. And
That's
they're
right.
Making
of course
how much more money? It's
all
just,
right.
Yeah, it's
I mean we're in a society where it's like consumerism to the max, right?
Yes.
Like you go outside of North America and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like that's just not the case, right? It's so terrifying how we're not the largest continent, right? And we are creating the greatest amount of pollution in the world.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like it is wild, but it is, in my opinion, that simple fact of like consumerism is all encompassing.
Yeah.
Our entire life and lifestyle is about what do we buy?
Yeah.
What do we need to buy next? I have to have these things. Even like when I was going through the process of like having a baby, it was like all the things that people tell you have to buy for this baby.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's like wild.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so it has to sleep in this, $3,000 bassinet, and then you have to buy the $1,700 stroller. Like blowing my mind, and it's like all of these things, and you need to have plastic spoons, and you need to have, plastic sippy cups, and like all these things. And as a 24-year-old, when you have your first kid, like you're just like, okay, like, like fine, like that's right. But it's like, as I've gotten older and I've started to look a little bit like more like objectively at it, it's like, why are we doing this? Right. But it's like, we have to get out of this Instagram world where we pull back and really look at what's actually important.
It's funny. I couldn't agree more. And actually, I have a really good friend of mine who lives in Yellowknife, and we are basically phone friends because she's so far.
For sure.
And we talk about everything under the sun. And, consumerism is one of those things. And I used to love to shop. My mom and I did it all the time, and it was just like, shopping today? You didn't need anything. I had what I needed.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to think about, we've kind of been unpacking, like, what is it about buying that sweater or that item?
Yes.
And I started to notice patterns, and it was when I was having a bad day or feeling like a little down, I was like, I'll just hop online and see what's online, maybe do some shopping, and then you buy something, and it's like you've accomplished something, and you just get this like chemical trigger in your brain.
Of course,
that, like, well, I got this, and then you get it, and you feel happy about it for like a week, and then you totally... Your
cortisol levels just go so high. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the science behind it, but like part of me feels like there's like almost a chemical.
Of course there is. Yeah.
And it's also being reinforced by these conglomerates everywhere that are promoting everything that you're talking about on your phone through social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I really tried to unpack that for myself, and like just like you're saying about the baby products, it's like, do I need this? Do I want this? If you want something, that's okay. It doesn't make you
a bad person. There's
a sweet sweater you've been eyeing on your wish list for 2 years. Like, it's okay.
Yes.
But it's just taking a step back and really thinking through your purchases and why you're purchasing something. Yeah. Why you're online shopping. Why do you feel the need to go shopping? Because why is it making you feel good? And like analyzing that about yourself. And I found that was a really good way to help me just be like, I don't need that. I'm going to feel happy by going for a workout or meeting a girlfriend or having a good chat. Or,
for sure. 100%. And it's funny because like, well, it's not funny, but the fashion and makeup industry are also huge offenders in pollution. Like huge. And so, I talked about this. I've talked about it with Daniel. I've also talked about it with a friend this week about like, I haven't bought like myself really new clothes, in probably like 3 years, like truthfully. Right.
Agreed.
And so my perspective on it was like, poor me initially. Right. Like, oh, I haven't bought any new clothes. Like, I have these kids, they always need clothes, what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm sort of going through this shift right now of mindset of like, okay, actually that's a really great thing because I'm not contributing like to the fashion waste that exists right now. And I've also started really being conscious about, giving clothes. Yeah. So like she has a daughter that can benefit from my daughter's clothes that they no longer fit in. Yeah. And like being mindful of like where I put those things, right? So I give them to someone who I know is going to use them.
And then I give them to someone.
I don't leave them in the grocery store parking lot beside this bin that like I don't know where it's going, right? So that's another thing that like is that I'm very passionate about as well. It's like, what are we doing, right? Yeah. And I think that is one of the things that keeps us from being successful in these like environmental initiatives, right? Is that like people just live in like la la land, it's like there's no consequence because it's not immediate. Like you're not going to have to go and live on Mars today. So it's like there's no immediate consequence. So it's like I'll just continue doing what I'm doing and live in absolute ignorance. Like is that like it sounds terrible and I don't mean to be like aggressive,
like,
but
I
it's like
there's probably a group of people who just like, if I don't know, it's not
actually happening. That's right.
Because once you know, like eco-anxiety, I don't know if you've heard
of course.
It's real.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I look at a piece of plastic and like a toothbrush and find out how many years it takes to decompose, my heart actually breaks. Like a toothbrush, and I think, how many toothbrushes in my life have I thrown in the garbage? Like, mind blown.
Yeah, and you're just one person.
Right.
And there's like millions and millions,
of toothbrushes. And that's just a toothbrush. Yeah, and it's like even clothes. Yeah. Like how long it takes, like does a piece of article of clothing even decompose? Like how long does that even take? Yeah. Like it just sits there.
Yeah, like anything that's polyester, never.
Never.
Anything that has any sort of blend, never. If it's a cotton item, then yes. But generally, no.
Well, and it's the fast fashion craze,
right?
Like,
for sure.
Buy it, it's $10. Yeah. I'll wear it a couple times and then toss it.
Right. I have like a drawer of socks with holes in them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do with them.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
What do I do with them?
Well, actually, that's a
sock puppets.
Great question.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you search, like, there's such an upcycle movement right now with creating your own, whether it's rags or toys or makeup remover pads. Like, there's a lot that can be done.
It's true.
To upcycle stuff.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Facebook groups. I just actually joined 2 or 3 Zero Waste.
Yeah.
And there are things like the baby food squishies. There's a company that actually will take the packaging. Yeah, right? Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. So it's like we have to start getting that out there for people because I think, oh God, how many of those have I thrown out in my day? And I did the same. I'd cut out the plastic thing, but I'm still left with this package that is not recyclable. Well, this company will like you just got to get it there.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like a lot of people don't know that most grocery stores now recycle the bags. A lot of grocery stores now are taking batteries.
Yeah.
Like it's right there when you walk into the grocery store, but people miss it because they're so like in tune. But a lot of these grocery stores are doing these things to help, which is great, but no one's seeing them.
Yeah.
You know, like we need blinking lights and signs and something, you know, like they're there.
I think like for North American culture, truthfully, we need a celebrity that
Also,
is committed to talking about it all the time. Like, can you imagine how impactful, and this is very sad to me, but how impactful it would be if, like, Kim Kardashian started talking about the environment?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of talking about, like, her, like, shapewear.
Yeah.
Like,
well, even, do you guys know Jillian Harris?
Yeah.
Yes.
She, you know, decent following, Cologne
Yes.
based.
Yeah.
The majority of her stuff, I think, was, like, lifestyle, fashion, home,
Right,
decor.
yeah.
But in the last, maybe, I would say 6 to 10 months, she started talking about it and, like, created quite a conversation. And there's a local refilery called Farmbound Zero Waste in Kelowna that, you know, they were small business, didn't have a ton of following, that just by a couple posts, and I mean, I'm not even saying she's like devoted her channel to it, but a couple posts, a bit of awareness, and Jay, who's the store owner, like the interest and popularity like skyrocketed just by that one
Thanks,
person.
Jillian.
That's amazing.
So like it's true, if we had more people
like who had that visibility, right?
The platform.
It's
crucial. I totally agree. Because you're right.
Yeah.
That's where people
But that's where people
Instagram
are
scrolling. And
in
like,
North America. That is where people are. That is where the interest is.
Yeah.
Because it's that mentality of like living outside of our actual life.
Yeah.
It's that wanting more right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if Kim Kardashian said to use a bamboo toothbrush, everyone would use a bamboo toothbrush.
Probably. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Come on, Kim.
Let's go, Kim.
Yeah. Listen,
Even Chloe.
she's definitely listening to our podcast.
Kim, call me.
100%. Yeah. Can you imagine?
She is not.
Definitely not. No. She's not momsplaining, like at all. No. Kristen Bell, maybe. Maybe we could get her to listen.
Actually,
but Kim Kardashian's not listening.
No.
Thank you for being with us today. It's been such a pleasure. And if you want to check out her business and become a customer, which I highly recommend you do, it is Park
Market
and Refilery. Park, Market, and Refilery.com.
Yes.
And the same on Instagram, the same on
Facebook. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Erica, so much.
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.
You too.
And thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Momsplanation and Rolling with the Momies.